Let's reload that. It's an old radar image. See, are we live? Ah, there we go. Okay. Wait for a couple people to get in here. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that we're about to cover here in a second. Once we get more people in, let me know if you guys can hear me. I believe my mic is working. Good afternoon, Alan. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook. Or sorry, not Facebook, YouTube. Glad you can hear me. Well, that was a swing and a miss. I had a 1 and 2 shot and I said the wrong site. Hello, everybody. Again, we are live here, about to cover some one severe thunderstorm warning in Michigan. Actually, now 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in Michigan. Perfect timing. All right. So the one that I just saw that was issued, this is why we prompted the live stream right now. This severe thunderstorm warning up here in northwestern lower peninsula of Michigan, issued for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. This warning is in effect till 6:15 for the following counties: South Central Leelanau, Northeastern Benzie, and Southwestern Grand Traverse City. Most of Traverse City itself it's like half and half in the warning box. I would say it's close enough to say where all of Traverse City is in the warning box. Again, as you can see right here, the orange line passes just south of downtown. It's kind of like like where everyone lives in Traverse City. It's south of town. But this is heading into Grand Traverse County near the Kingsley area in the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm actually going to see how fast this is going. Southeast at 40 miles per hour. So yeah, if you are in southeastern Michigan, this is nowhere near you guys. We do appreciate you guys tuning in, of course. Hello from Edwardsburg. Hello, Veronica from Edwardsburg. Walter from Hillsdale. And a couple of you guys from Grand Rapids. It's not coming down your way yet, but sometime soon. Yeah, Dawn, you are good if you are not in Grand Traverse County. If you are in Grand Traverse County right now, you guys definitely want to be taking shelter from this damaging winds and potentially large hail. There is no tornado possible with this storm either. And that's something we really won't have to worry about tonight. Moving over to the thumb, in Huron County, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued until 6:30 p.m. for Huron County, most of Huron County. 532 severe thunderstorm was located near Caseville. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. This is moving southeast at a little bit of a slower pace at 30 miles per hour. Again, the hazards here are 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And as there's also no tornado possible in this storm as well. So again, like I said, tornadoes won't really be the main issue tonight. It'll be damaging winds and hail. This is a pretty hefty storm coming in here into Pigeon in the next probably 2 minutes. Down the road, this is heading towards Owendale and Bad Axe and Ubly. Man, I need to really catch up on my eastern side of the state cities, along with a couple others in our group. Cadillac, this is coming for you guys in the next probably 45 minutes to an hour. Again, this is moving southeast at 40 miles per hour, so it's moving along pretty well. So you're not an immediate threat, but again, the severe thunderstorm warning is just to the northwest of you guys and kind of heading your way. So we'll have to watch that in the next hour or so. Again, these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail for those who are just tuning in. Hello from Rochester Hills, Jamie, Mio. Oh, Monroe, yes, our Monroe crew. You guys do not have to worry about anything for the next couple hours at least. I don't even think it's going to survive past sunset, and it will take forever to get there. Flipping back to the radar. This is going to be fun. So we're going to be switching from back and forth. So we have this little line here. Looking at models earlier today, this line won't stay together for too long. Again, I'm only expected it to be together for another hour or two. And the models earlier said that it'll gain strength as it passes over the lake. So Ludington, Hart, you guys could see some stronger storms maybe later down the road. Again, this is just a model runs. This is not accurate, of course, by any means, but it's just what I saw earlier on the model runs. Also, if you're in central Roscommon County, if you're out at Houghton Lake right now in Prudenville, you guys have a hefty shower moving over you guys. Maybe some small pea-sized hail mixed into there. Let me look at correlation coefficient really quick, which determines atmospheric large objects in the atmosphere. So if you guys are not familiar with the CC radar, basically anything in red or purple that you can see here on radar is smaller objects and liquid. So rain, for example. Anywhere where you see, well, we're going to ignore all that blue stuff up there because that's just ground clutter. But anywhere where you see like little bits of yellow and green mixed in, that's when you start getting larger objects. So, for example, hail. This is also the radar we use for detecting debris lofted in tornadic thunderstorms, which, again, today we are not expecting any tornadic thunderstorms. So as you can see right here, right over Houghton Lake, there's a little bit of yellows and oranges mixing in there. Again, at the most, probably pea-sized hail. But it's likely that hail might not even be falling here. So, and again, this is 2,500 feet up. It's pretty shallow reading for the beam from the Gaylord radar. But for example, if you look over here, this little storm in southern Antrim County, just to the east of Elk Rapids, you can see that little bullseye of yellows and greens right there. Now that's probably you're looking at probably half-inch hail, some marble-sized to penny-sized hail right there with those yellows and greens. So just a little fun tidbit, radar tidbit for those who do not know. Let's see what else we got here. Hillsdale County, you guys are in the clear for a while. It might not even you guys probably won't even be affected tonight at this point. How's Manistee looking? Now that is closer. Manistee actually is getting hit pretty much right now. This is bearing down in Manistee in the next 2 to 5 minutes, the heavier of rain. Oh boy, this is right in a bad radar spot too. So I'm going to flip on something I use sometimes when I'm out storm chasing. So these little yellow boundaries here, as you can see, that goes right across north of Mason Lake, Osceola counties, south of Manistee, Wexford. So this line right here determines where the county warning areas begin and end. So Gaylord is in charge of issuing warnings for everything up here, Grand Rapids down here. And so with that being said, you also have the radar in Gaylord and the radar in Grand Rapids. And as you can see, when you get to the kind of the DMZ sort of area, there's not really good radar coverage out here. There is radar coverage, but not great. And so it's hard to determine if these winds are mixing to the ground. Now, obviously, wow. Up here in Traverse City, now this is closer to the radar, still 3,500 feet off the ground, but definitely a large swath of damaging winds here, as you can see in the radar on the right, determined by these higher color gradients. And so that definitely would warrant a warning, as we see here. And like I said, ooh, wow. Like I said, most of downtown Traverse City is not in that warning box. It's mainly just south of downtown Traverse City, but it's close enough where it should all be in the warning box. And as you can see, it looks like it's trying to make a leftward turn here into downtown Traverse City. So again, if you're in Traverse City, anywhere in Grand Traverse County along the bay, up over towards Williamsburg, be advised that this might make a little bit of a left turn. I wouldn't say crazily left, but enough to where you guys should be, watching it closely. Wow, this thing is actually moving fast. This thing is already over Traverse City and heading towards Williamsburg and rural parts of Grand Traverse County. Kingsley, you guys are in the line of fire next for sure. There's actually a lot of forest out here in Grand Traverse County, north of Fife Lake. So if you know anyone that's camping up there specifically, I would tell them to hunker down for the time being, find substantial shelter if need be. Yeah, no problem, Alexis. How's St. Clair County looking? Now that requires us to go look at our other storm here. And actually, they just upgraded the severe thunderstorm warning. And so we're going to take a look at that really quick on the new warning box. As you can see right here, for those who are not aware, the National Weather Service, I think 2 years ago now, put different criteria of severe thunderstorm warnings. And so you have just the basic general severe thunderstorm warning, but they also have categories now where you have considerable severe thunderstorm warning and destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And so we're looking at a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now for Huron County. I made it different so on my radar thing, I can change the color tables. And what I did is I put a red box around the orange if it's a considerable, and if there's a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, it'll be pink, but it's not pink. So it is red. So they are indicating, oh man, what are they? It must be for large hail. Yes, it is for large hail. And you can see that with all on the radar on the left, all those pinks there, that is all large hail falling. In fact, it's not a great look from correlation coefficient, but it's definitely, you can definitely see in the base reflectivity on the left here, it's a lot of pinks, and that's usually an indication of large hail. That's interesting couplet. I would not be surprised if a water spout report came in from that, because it almost looks like it's trying to wrap up there, but well, we will see. Again, this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now for Huron County. They upgraded it due to the fact that 1.75 inch hail could be now falling in this location, especially close to Pigeon, Elkton, and closer down to Owendale if it continues its east-southeast or south-southeast track. Caseville, you guys are just to the north of the heaviest of hail, but we are watching it closely right now, obviously. So again, we have two severe thunderstorm warnings that we're flipping back and forth on right now, one up in Grand Traverse and one Huron counties. Both these storms are moving off to the southeast at about 35 to 45 miles per hour in different locations, depending where you're at. There's also a couple of special marine warnings right now for boaters. Again, I don't think anyone's really watching on the lake, on the big lakes, but just in case they are. Next comment down, getting dark in Reed City. That would be surprising. Or that's not surprising, I should say. And that is because you have this overshooting anvil heading toward you. So today's environment, I'm going to go take a look really quick at our photographs that show us what the winds are acting like in the atmosphere as you go up. And I would not be surprised to see what I think I'm going to see. Just got to let it load here a second. You guys are not going to be able to see it on your screen, but I'm looking at it on my screen right now. Yeah, that would make sense. So what we have is the photograph is a chart where you're looking, it's like a little radius thing, like a bullseye, and a bunch of rings around it. And those rings are different wind speeds. So closer to the central, you have 0, 10 knots, 20 knots, all the way up to like 70 knots. And if you're looking down and the line is shooting off to your bottom right, so if you just picture it in your head, it's shooting off to your bottom right. So that's southeast. We'll say that. And it's all the way up at 10 kilometers. So that's 70 knots. That's going to be a large overshooting anvil in these storms tonight, is because these storms are flying in the upper atmosphere, like absolutely like warp speed almost. Not obviously, but over 70 knots is the speed up at 10 kilometers in the atmosphere. And so what you're looking at here is these storms, the updrafts shoot up into the atmosphere. And then when they get above, it looks like on the photographs here, above 4 or 5 kilometers, the line shoots super far southeast. If you're looking at that imaginary graph, it's shooting super far southeast or to your bottom right. And that means the winds are picking up as you get increase in height. And that's what's happening here. As you can see on the radar, I believe you guys can still see it. Let me just flip over to the stream here. Yep. So we'll single box it for a sec. So you can see these storms all up here in Manistee, Grand Traverse County. All this rain out in front of it is the overshooting anvil. So you have anvils that are stretching about 50 miles in front of the storm because the wind is so intense in the upper atmosphere. Will this mix down? Probably not. It's just an indication of, how fast the winds are moving up there. So it's a little fun fact about the anvils is it depends on how fast these storms are moving or how fast the winds are blowing in the upper atmosphere, which today they're moving super fast. So storms are building up and then they're getting absolutely blasted to the southeast. Hopefully that was fun for you guys to know that. But Mount Pleasant, you guys are potentially, if that line can make it that far southeast, you guys are in the line of fire sometime soon. Baldwin, you guys, same thing, kind of close to Mount Pleasant there. You guys should be good, or you guys should be watching out for this line later tonight. Edwardsburg, you guys are in the clear for a while. I would say I don't think everyone's going to get hit tonight. This is very scattered to isolated in nature. So a lot of you guys probably won't see a drop of rain tonight. So if I'm just going to give you times roughly of potentially when it hits, if it were to hit, if at all. Edwardsburg, you guys are after sunset because that is super far away. Again, I know these storms are moving really fast in the upper atmosphere, but down at the surface, again, they're only moving 35 to 40 knots. So it all depends on how fast they're moving at the surface and not 10 kilometers up. Bay City, you guys are just getting clipped by some showers right now. Watch closely for backward development over towards the Midland area. That's definitely a possibility. It could pop up anywhere along that line. Iosco County, that's north. That's up here. You guys are behind it right now, actually, and I think you guys are going to be almost good for the rest of the night. There could be a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. In Oscoda County later tonight. These storms actually up here near Atlanta and Gaylord could be moving down your way if they can survive. So you guys should be mainly dry for the rest of the night. My favorite weather channel, LMAO, says Megan. Appreciate that. Yeah, we only have 68 in here tonight, which is okay. It's a marginal severe risk, so it's nothing crazy by any means. And I'm obviously solo riding it right now, so it's okay. But, we're covering you for any severe thunderstorm warnings that we have. No tornadoes today, Kenny. We're not expecting any tornadoes. Again, if for whatever reason, like this storm here decide to form a water spout off the lake, we'll keep you covered. But again, that's not likely at this time. But we are closely monitoring. So let's look at the velocity just in case. There's a little bit of broad rotation in there, but nothing too crazy by any means. So yeah, no problem. St. Joseph County. We'll go look at St. Joseph County really quick, and then we'll go on to the new severe thunderstorm warning I just saw pop up there. St. Joseph, you guys are fine and dandy for the next probably 4 hours. So you guys will not have to worry about any storm coverage your way for the next, again, 3 to 4 hours. So after sunset. And then let's go back up to this new severe thunderstorm warning. It's an extension of the one that was issued previously. As you can see, it did move off to the left a little bit, and it actually is continuing to move off to the left. And like I said 5-10 minutes ago, Williamsburg, I would not be surprised if it was heading your way, and it is. So you guys are in the new severe thunderstorm warning, along with Kalkaska, South Boardman, Fief Lake, and Kingsley. You are in both boxes, actually. So that doesn't mean anything by any means, but it just means that you're double covered. So the apex of this heaviest of wind is heading right down the highway into Williamsburg. So if you are traveling between Traverse City and Williamsburg right now, I would just pull off the road. Do not block the road. If you can find a gas station or just some business to pull into, that would be great. Away from trees, obviously, unless you can, gun it through. But I would not recommend that. Only experienced people should. So this new severe thunderstorm warning, the same information, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size tail, no tornado. No tornadoes possible. It's issued until 6:30, so that is another 35 minutes. And it's moving southeast at 40, although in some spots it's moving almost due east. at 40 miles per hour, and maybe slightly faster where the apex of that wind is at. So again, Traverse City, Kalkaska, Sharon, Kingsley, Fief Lake, Barker Creek, Sigma, South Boardman, Grand, Traverse City State Park, Spider Lake, Williamsburg. Wow, I'm not even going to say that town, honestly. I'm not even going to butcher it that bad. Bates and Smithville. If you, for some reason, live in this tiny town of Greilickville, let me know how it's pronounced because I've never heard of that in my life. But you guys are included that severe thunderstorm warning box. We also have a couple special marine warnings for this storm way over on the Wisconsin side of the lake. Those storms will continue their trek mainly over the lake. We will watch them closely if they do move our way. So again, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings now in effect for portions of the Lower Peninsula, mainly northern and the Thumb area. If you live in West Michigan, you guys are in the clear for now. You have potentially a stronger storm starting to fire up here in Manistee and Ludington, heading into Mason and Lake counties here in the short term. Nothing severe at the moment, but we will continue to track that. The only thing that is severe right now is this storm in Kalkaska and Grand Traverse County, along with this hefty storm to probably dropping some inch to inch and a half sized hail. Heading into Pigeon. We're going to flip back over to the Detroit radar. That's the one bad thing about days like today where you have storms scattered all across the state. So you got to switch across to 2 to 3 different radars. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of hail. See lots of yellows and greens in there. For those who remembered what that means some hail. Let's see if there's any more comments. Oh, yes, the Kane Brown concert's tonight. Or is it? Is it tonight? Either way, you guys have some rain heading into your area potentially later tonight if the storms can hold together. We will continue to track them if they pose a risk for severe. Maybe, I know if it's at Soaring Eagle, which I believe it is, service usually is fairly good there. When I went to the Pitbull concert there a month ago, I was able to tune into anything on my phone. So if you want to, keep your phone open on the side of you while you're at the concert, it's some dedication for you. So appreciate it. Greilickville. Okay. Appreciate that, Brian. I will not butcher that again. And if I do, you can put the band hammer down on me. No, I'm just kidding. Just passed up here in Lake Ann, which is near Traverse City. Small hail, definitely a lot of thunder. That is definitely what we're seeing on the radar here. I don't have my lightning on, but I know Lake Ann is, right there. I have a friend who lives up there, actually. So Lake Ann, you guys are in the clear. The storms are beyond you right now. Again, this is mainly moving into Kalkaska County. So, Brian, if you are from Kalkaska, you guys are under the line of fire next. Conscious go rain or shine. Might delay if there's lightning. My doubt will be canceled. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it looks like I think Ryan is tuning in separately. He just informed me that this warning is now for a tornado possible in Huron County. You'll scroll down and look at the thing here. Yes, tornado possible tag added to the new warning box, to the considerable severe thunderstorm warning box. As you can see, it takes up most of western Huron County, south of Caseville. This includes Bad Axe. I think this is mainly this is kind of moving off to the southeast away from Bad Axe, but again, you guys are still in the rain and some thunder and lightning. Boy. That's one powerful storm. Detroit is closely monitoring. National Weather Service Detroit Pontiac is closely monitoring the storm. If you are in the immediate western side of Huron County right now, you guys should be taking shelter, not just for the threat of a tornado, but for damaging winds and the large hail that is potentially falling in this storm. mainly on a line from Bayport down to Owendale at this point, where you see the strongest pinks here on the radar on the left. Radar on the right again is velocity, and that is our winds, where you see reds and greens really, really close together. Right now it's halfway. It's fairly broad at this point, but definitely worth monitoring. Where you see those again, reds and greens close together. That's where conditions are favorable for a tornado. So you have reds are wind moving away from the radar, green is wind moving towards. Let's see. What does Grosse Pointe look like? You guys are in the clear for now. That is over here somewhere. There it is, Grosse Pointe. Yeah, it's basically downtown Detroit. You guys are in the clear for the next couple hours. We'll continue to monitor it, but you guys are good for now. There's nothing to worry about. Sky is turning dark in Mount Pleasant. Fire up chips. For those who don't know, I'm Central Michigan grad, or not grad. Go to Central Michigan. I wish I was a grad, but not quite yet. Sky's turning dark. If you have pictures to send, I would know exactly where you're at. If you send a picture in from Mount Pleasant, you can send them to us. I'll throw the banner up there for our storm reports. I can find it. There it is. It's michiganstormchasers.com/send-report. Or you can just tag us on Facebook. We'll see it either way. So if you have some cool cloud photos, or I saw there's a comment that you're from there's a comment that someone said they got hammered Traverse City. Yeah, Ronnie said they got hammered downtown Traverse City. If you have any like hail or damage reports, when it's safe to do so, we would definitely appreciate that. And don't forget to tag the National Weather Service Gaylord in those photos as well. They appreciate it a lot more than we do, for sure. I mean, we like to say we appreciate it equally, but they're always looking to add to their damaging wind reports, and potentially if they need to go out and survey. So bad access safe, LOL. Yep, barely. If the storm for whatever reason makes a leftward turn, you guys are not going to be as safe. But for right now, I mean, you guys are in the severe thunderstorm warning box, so don't take it lightly. It's a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Is the lake influencing that storm in Huron County? Quite possibly. There actually is studies going on right now with lake enhancement and just generic thunderstorms that move over bodies of water and moving onshore. I'm not seeing any like lake breezes right now on radar, but again, there definitely could be one there. Almost looks like there's a surge. So, wow. Almost stationary. That updraft down here is almost stationary. And in fact, it's shooting straight south. If this tightens up anymore, we might be looking at tighter rotation here near. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna butcher it. We'll say it's heading down towards Bach and Unionville. Just to the west of Owendale is where the greatest chance of rotation is at right now. And west of Owendale, I believe. Appreciate that, Kenny. Good evening from Reese. You guys are close to this storm too. I passed through Reese on a storm chase once. Let me see if I can find that. There it is, right on the county line. You guys are just to the southwest of that severe thunderstorm warning right now in very extreme Tuscola County. I don't know if you consider you guys in Tuscola or Saginaw County. It looks like you guys in Tuscola. Barely. So you guys are good for now. But again, we are closely monitoring any turns and twists with this storm. Mount Pleasant's my hometown. Again, fire up chips. I'll be back up there hopefully soon. We'll see when. I'll be storm chasing up there. Hello from Kalkaska, says Ray. About to hit by something. Yes, you guys are. I'll switch back over to that storm really quick. This is bearing down on you in the next I think 2 minutes. Let me look. This is... Ooh, that's interesting. So, Kalkaska, you guys are definitely getting hit in the next 2 minutes, and the reason why is because on the radar on the right is your velocity again. That's your wind. And this big bow of wind is basically 2 miles outside of your city limits. But if you flip over the rain, it's actually not where the rain's at. The front line of that wind is in front of the heaviest of the rain. And then once the wind passes over, the rain will start probably about 2 minutes after. So I imagine right now, if you're in Kalkaska, if you point your camera to the west, you might be seeing a really nice shelf cloud, because when you have that wind bowing like that and shooting down out of the storm, that's where shelf clouds are formed, obviously. So if you're in Kalkaska, like a couple of you guys are watching from, I would definitely, if it's safe to do so, take a picture and send it our way. But again, that should not be your main priority. Your main priority should be staying safe, staying indoors, away from windows, of course. Is this going to hit Marlette? Medium term, yes, it could if it stays together. This is that storm over here in western Huron County. Marlette's down here near just to the southwest of Sandusky. Wow, that is one heck of a storm. I mean, they are under, you guys in the thumb are under a marginal risk today, and there's your storm in question. It is a very nasty storm, Alexandra, sorry. Has begun here in Kalkaska. Yes, it has. Eastern Huron County scan is very quiet. Typically, if there's any kind of possible rotation that gets called in, the fire department, sheriff head out to spot. Nothing yet. That's good. Again, conditions weren't that favorable for tornadoes today, but again, non-zero at this point in time, especially with this storm in Huron County. I would say the storms up in northern Michigan right now in Kalkaska County are not likely to produce anything tornadic. This storm does bear watching, because this is a very rooted supercell at this point, with some very large hail being put out likely. Let me see. Oh my gosh, yeah. See all these greens and blues, everyone? That is your hail core, and that is a large one between Pigeon and Owendale. Everywhere the pink's at. That's just interesting. Ray's got picks. Awesome. Glad you were able to get some in before the storm hit you. Tuscola one side, Saginaw on the other. Yeah. Reese is right there in the Tri-Counties area, or right where the 3 counties meet. Best part with a small live stream is I can easily read your questions more, because they're not flying in at 1,000,000 miles per hour. So I do appreciate that. But if you know anybody that's in the line of these storms in Huron County, Tuscola County, down towards Sanilac County, and then up here, Missaukee, Crawford, Kalkaska, Wexford, Lake counties, Mason. Oh, Mason County is under thunderstorm warning right now. Down towards Oceana. If you guys know anyone on the path of these storms, feel free to share the stream with them. We'll be covering, we'll be streaming for as long as need be, at least for medium term. So we'll be on here for at least another probably half hour, 45 minutes. So again, if anyone wants to tune in, if you know anyone that would like to tune in for the next half hour to an hour, or until whenever the warnings are done, we appreciate that. Very nasty storm by our typical thumb standards. Yeah, you guys always, for some reason, I don't know if it's the windmills, it's the flat land out there, if it's just the lakes. You guys, for some reason, you guys are always getting hit pretty hard every once in a while. I remember Port Austin, the tornado, waterspout turned tornado. Was it 2 years ago now? That was crazy. Interesting. I gotta see what the guys are talking about really quick in the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, looks like it's all hail right now. Only problem is if it does, if there's debris being locked down here, it's going to be mixing in with the hail. So it's really hard to determine if, something would spin up for a brief second. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning in Huron County does have tornado possible on it now, along with the threat for 60-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball sized hail, which again is 1.75 inches in diameter. And so that can crack a windshield for sure. It won't bust it. I can show you guys what my chase car looks like, as I intercepted some 1.75 inch hail a couple years ago now. Did it pass Bay City? It is just to your east of Bay City. There's a couple lingering showers here off to the north of you guys, which are sliding just by, and those ones are not severe yet. But we are again watching the storm over in Bach at this point, heading towards Gagetown. Is this going for Flint? Again, Bay City and Flint are kind of in the same boat here, where it could be just passing by you guys. A couple showers may extend your way. Nothing severe at this moment. Vacationing in Port Sanilac. Are we in line for storms? That is over here. Yes, you guys are in line for at least some rain, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. If this storm can meander its way to the east a little bit, you guys would definitely be in the line of fire here in the next hour. At this point, it looks like the heaviest of it might be moving just off to your west, over towards Sandusky, which again is just down the road from you. And again, if you hear thunder, that means you guys are close enough to get struck. So again, if you're outside, if you're in a tent, just be careful, be cautious. If need be, head into your vehicle of choice. Again, you would rather be in a vehicle in a thunderstorm over a tent, because the lightning hits the vehicle and travels through the vehicle around the outside to the frame and not through the tires. If you're in the tent and you're touching the tent at all, it gets struck. I mean, I don't want to say you'll turn into some burnt toast, but you might turn into some burnt toast. But if you're an RV, you guys should be good. You just have to be careful of the winds and if there's any trees around you. That's the main thing. Again, if you're in any sort of vehicle at that point, if there's any trees around you, you want to be careful. So, yes, lake definitely influences our weather. Kenneth is correct. That's why it's so hard to predict stuff here in Michigan, because you have days like today where this massive supercell is rooted over Bach right now. It's just putting down some heavy winds and some large hail. Trees down in Sibawang. Boy, I had to say it. According to what? Is it scanner reported? Kenneth's going to let me know here shortly. And while he does that, I'm going to go over to the other severe thunderstorm warnings. I know I was going to look at the Mason one. We're going to switch for the Grand Rapids radar for this one. As this is now, as you can see in that side, the yellow boundary for Grand Rapids. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings in all three of our lower peninsula coverage zones, not including, of course, northern Indiana, our main three. But Mason County, you guys are under severe thunderstorm warning now for this hefty storm moving off the lake. Again, could be lake influenced. This storm is moving 35 miles per hour to the southeast. Thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7 p.m. for the entirety of Mason County. And at 6:07, the severe thunderstorm was located over Hamlin Lake, or 6 miles north of Ludington, moving southeast 35. Again, main hazards are 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail, so 1-inch hail. No tornado possible with this one. I'm looking at velocity right now, and yeah, doesn't look anything like our storm over here in Huron County, that's for sure. It looks like the Severe thunderstorm warning in Grand Traverse County has been canceled. So Grand Traverse County, you guys are in the clear. Kalkaska County, you guys are not yet. Next on deck is probably going to be portions of southern Otsego County if this continues to turn left a little bit, but otherwise it's mainly going to be Grayling, the entirety of Crawford County here, and just portions of Roscommon. This is heading toward you guys next. That storm up there. So again, we are monitoring 3 severe thunderstorm warnings this evening. Surprisingly active for sure. It kind of says the fire department just went out. All right, I will let those people know. Wouldn't let me attach a photo on this Michigan Storm Chasers website. Sorry about that. Ryan, Kenny, I think Ryan's listening to the stream right now. Kenny gave us a photo, sent us a photo, I believe. I think Kenny's the one that's in Mount Pleasant, I believe. So Southeast Michigan, you guys, Julie, welcome in. Southeast Michigan is pretty much in the clear for now, although it is heading towards Southeast Michigan if you consider St. Clair County portions of Southeast Michigan. Personally, I consider Huron, Tuscola, Sanilac, Lapeer, and St. Clair counties as eastern Michigan thumb region, but people are have their own opinions on where Southeast Michigan begins and ends. Again, if you guys send us reports of clouds, damage, make sure to let us know if we have permission to post that to our page. We won't unless we get permission. So Lake Huron and Lexington, yes, that storm is heading right for you guys in Lexington. I know you guys got hit by that tornado a couple weeks ago. All right. Sorry, I'm just sending a message to Ryan really quick. Okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, considerable severe thunderstorm warning. We'll flip over to the Detroit radar for that. Kenny, thank you for allowing us permission, of course. Macomb County, you guys, if this continues its strength and duration off to the southeast, you guys are in it probably in the next hour and a half. But not right now. You guys are in the clear for now. This is heading towards northern Lapeer County. Yes, this is. Warning box is now butting up to northern Lapeer County. No problem, Julie. National Service down into Southeast Michigan. There's a potential for these storms. Yeah, it could if it can hold together. If the storm of the thumb can hold together, Lapeer, St. Clair, Macomb County, portions of Sanilac County. You guys are under the gun here soon. No problem, Jody. No problem, everybody. That's why we're here. Keep you guys informed. Went over a little bit of some sciencey stuff earlier in the stream. If you guys missed it, you guys can go back and look in the stream. I was talking about how these storms are producing very large anvil clouds. So if you guys are, 50 miles, 75 miles, in front of these storms, you guys probably have the anvils almost directly over you because up 8 kilometers to 10 kilometers in the atmosphere, winds are moving 75 miles per hour. So it's blowing those updrafts so far to the southeast of these storms that you have this giant, like, cloud shadow over you from the anvil, which is really cool. We don't get many days like that. So if you have any cool anvil cloud photos, again, we would love to see them. Oakland County, Rochester, you guys are just to the, it's going to depend on where you're at in Oakland County. If you're more to the east, the storm, I could see it clipping you guys. Western Oakland, you guys are less likely to get hit by this current severe thunderstorm warning. Zooming in on this storm again, in now northern Tuscola County, this new warning is for golf ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind. So the same stuff, and is now moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. So it has slowed down significantly. They removed the tornado possible tag, so the National Weather Service now believes that tornado conditions for a tornado will not be possible here if rotation were to stay together. Again, this is a very broad rotation, but it's also very bright. So, I mean, if you rock it back and forth, you can kind of see how it's, that green surging forward from or towards the radar, which is down in Detroit. It's kind of cool to see how fluid the atmosphere is. I know we have a couple of viewers from West Branch. If you live in West Branch, you probably have a nice heavy shower moving over you right now in Ogemaw County. Southwestern Ogemaw County, my bad. Zooming back up to our Kalkaska storm. Again, we are all over the place tonight. This is already over Kalkaska and heading towards Frederick, especially towards Grayling. There's some interesting little notches in here, but nothing of concern. Yeah, you guys see that little shower over the lake here on the radar? How, I was talking about how the anvils are getting sheared off 75 miles probably from the storm. See that big line right there of greens and blues? That's the anvil. Isn't that crazy? So this shower offshore of Sheboygan, Wisconsin, is producing an anvil that stretches all the way down to Ravenna, Michigan, and Kent City. That's how fast the winds are moving in the atmosphere, 8 to 10 kilometers up. Lots of thunder, Cass City. Powerful storm for sure. If you guys don't get any, damaging winds or hail of it, for sure there's going to be a good lightning show. No problem, Diane. Always glad to break in when there's severe weather in Michigan. But right now there's 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, if you live in, I know Detroit National Weather Service will appreciate this much, but if you have hail falling, especially in Gagetown, Owendale, Bach, Cass City here soon. Oh yeah, Cass City, you guys are in this warning now. This will be down on top of you here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, the heaviest of it, if not already, depending on where you live around Cass City. If you do have hail falling, we do appreciate any pictures again, because especially the Detroit National Weather Service office, they're looking to continue the warning for, golf ball size hail. And what they do is, you see reports. If anyone has reports, they get it in, they extend the box down south. But if they don't get any, reports, then they see no reason to continue it. And obviously the radar shows shows the story always, but it always helps to have ground truth. So again, if you have any pictures, first and foremost priority should be to the National Weather Service, and then us when you get the chance. Bad Axe, you guys are just to the east of the heaviest of the storm, although you have, looks like a little renegade cell kind of poking out the backside of it heading towards you. So I would expect some heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail here in the next 10 minutes for Bad Axe. Gratiot County. Seems like the storms always split north and south and miss us generally. I have bad news for you if you're looking for a storm. That's right here, I believe. Yeah, Ithaca, Elma. Right now, there's no storms heading towards you, and it looks like this rain up here, this line that we had originally from Kalkaska down to Ludington, starting to split in the middle, which is not good if you want a storm in Gratiot County. So, yeah, you are right in the terms of storm always splitting around you, but we'll continue to watch it. There's one tiny little storm here in Wexford County that might be heading your way, and potentially an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning here in Mason and portions of Lake County. So there's 4 severe thunderstorm warnings right now, encompassing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different counties. Again, if you are sending us pictures on Messenger, again, I should have said this to Kenny earlier. I know our website's one way, and if it's not working on our website, you could always just message us on Messenger through Facebook. If you have Facebook, that would be great, because that way pictures definitely get sent to us. Caro, however you pronounce it, you guys are right on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. Storm is trying to sneak down your way. I got to go to the Detroit radar because we're looking at the Gaylord radar right now. 3. Wow, that's a big ball of wind, I must say. And that is over fairly rural parts of north central Tuscola County. Ismate, Clip Carroll. So if you guys are there, I would definitely be seeking shelter as a precaution. Kingston, a tiny little town I passed through once. Wow, I'm feeling it right now. If you're in Kingston, for sure you guys should be taking shelter. This storm is about 10 miles down the road from you and moving again off to the southeast at 20 miles per hour. So you guys have enough time to take shelter, but if you dilly-dally, might catch you off guard. Ogama County, that guy is to the north. West Branch, yes, I was just talking about West Branch about 5 minutes ago. If you guys are in West Branch, you guys have a heavy shower moving through. Nothing severe at this time. Good news for Kalkaska County, that severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for you guys. Gaylord believes that there is no longer 60-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch hail falling here, although heavy winds could still be occurring just below the severe limit, which is 60 miles per hour. I need water. I'm talking so much. So we got the considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, the thumb, and one lone regular severe thunderstorm warning here in Mason County, hitting Ludington head on right now. Should be right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
I'll get you cold water.
Appreciate it. Thank you. How's Ogama County looking for tonight? You guys, after this line of storms passes through here in Kalkaska County, Crawford County, you guys should be in the clear for tonight. I don't expect any redevelopment, especially after sunset. Again, these are kind of fueled by instability today with a weaker cap. But as the sun goes down, the cap gets put back on and instability dies, so it'll be hard to form storms. Melissa has reports of ripped shingles and siding off our neighborhood, or off in our neighborhood, pea-sized hail too. Again, if you have any pictures of that, we do appreciate that. That will go down as a damaging wind report in the reports book for eternity and all time on the Storm Prediction Center website. So Walkerville. You guys are in the Manistee Forest, I believe, right? Yes, just down the road from Silver Lake. Thank you. Yeah, so down the road from Silver Lake. I think that's Lake County. North Hesperia, yeah. You guys are getting missed by the severe thunderstorm warning just off to your west, it looks like. Or are you? I think you guys are actually in Newaygo County. Yeah, you guys are actually closer than I thought to this severe thunderstorm. So apologies, I didn't really know where Walkerville was at the second, but I see it now. And you guys are, if this warning continues, it'll go into Oceana County, and that's where you guys are at. Will these likely be severe by Macomb County? There's definitely still a chance. Just tuned in as you were getting away from Ithaca. Any possibility for weather there? Would love to race up for a few photos. I imagine you guys are probably going to get some good cloud photos at the least in Ithaca. And Gratiot County looks to be maybe split by some of the action tonight, but we can't rule that out yet. So, it's worth a shot. If you can get some cool anvil cloud photos, tonight would be the night to do that. Could you describe what is happening when you have a storm system moving west, but the severe sections drag south or north while still moving westward, like how they morph away from their tracks? Yeah, so for that has to do with sorry, that was my face was there for a second. That has to do with the different wind speeds as you go in the atmosphere, I guess you could say. So again, I was mentioning earlier that hodograph I was talking about, where it's that graph. If you're looking straight down the atmosphere, you have a line. The closer to the center of that graph, the lower the wind speeds, and then as your line goes further away from the center, higher wind speeds. And so basically is what's happening is you have storms that are more rooted at the surface. And so like you see that storm over there in Huron County, that storm is basically moving slow and almost not at all. That's why it's down to 20 miles per hour. And that storm is more surface based. And we see that with the hodographs. So those hodographs right now, you guys can't see them yourself, but right at the surface, the hodograph has, like 10 miles per hour off to the basically almost straight southeast. And that's why you have that storm just sitting there, because it's not moving much. In comparison to the rest of the storms in that line, you saw those little pop-up showers there on the radar over in Bad Axe and offshore near Bay City. Those storms are moving faster and more off to the southeast, and that's because as you get up in the atmosphere, the winds are moving faster off to the southeast. And so as you can tell, those storms are not as surface based. And so they're, shooting further off to the southeast quicker than the main storm. And obviously when you have a surface based storm, more things are likely to go severe. And that's what we're seeing tonight. Hopefully that, helped you out a little bit. It doesn't help when I can't really show the hodograph. I could, but I'm not going to do that right now because it might confuse some people. I might do a video on that soon. on our YouTube channel. Again, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And in order to not miss another live stream when we first start, you could hit the notification bell as well. It'll notify you anytime we go live or post a video, and we would greatly appreciate that. Storms are heading southeast, Michelle. Depending on where you're at, if you're in the thumb, 20 miles per hour. Rest of the line's moving like 40, 45. Grayling winds are picking up, temperatures dropping. That'll feel nice. I know it got up to 80 in some spots today, so it'll be a nice relief at the least if you guys get nothing severe. James is heading to the thumb right now from Detroit to Chase. Keep you abreast if anything is interesting. Do appreciate that, James. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. Anything in Battle Creek tonight? You guys are probably not going to get anything severe in Battle Creek tonight. Too early to tell, but models indicated earlier that these storms will fall apart around sunset. So I don't think it's going to even reach Battle Creek by sunset if they're moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. So 35 to 45 miles per hour, my bad. Thank you for subbing, Crazy Fox. We do appreciate that. Glad I could help answer your question as well about why the storms move at different speeds. And of course, always feel free to share the streams with your friends. It's one more person that can be notified in a time of severe weather. Looking back at the radar real quick, we're going to go over to our considerable severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like the winds are starting to die down a little bit. It has more of a classic supercell shape to it than it did earlier. Although earlier, it was coming off the lake earlier. I don't have radar scans that far back, but it was looking coming off the lake earlier when they issued the tornado possible in the severe thunderstorm warning. It looked more supercellular. Now it's looking more supercellular again with an outflow boundary. So still impressive, probably putting down 6 mile per hour wind in some spots. Definitely some hail still in there, it looks like, according to correlation coefficient. So I would say this warning is still valid. And now we're going to go back up to Gaylord because they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's very interesting. So, new severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service in Gaylord is issued for southern Crawford County, northern Roscommon County, and southeastern Kalkaska County in northern Michigan until 7:15 p.m. So you guys have 35 to 45 minutes there in the warning. At 6:36, severe thunderstorm was located near Moorestown, or 10 miles southwest of Grayling, moving southeast at 40. Main hazards: 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-sized hail. No tornado possible with this one. So if you know where you're at in the map, we're going to single box it for a second. If you see this orange box here, that is your severe thunderstorm warning box. If you know where you live in this box here, you guys are included in that storm. So if you live in basically Grayling, that box goes right over you. I would say it's close enough. You guys, if you live in Grayling, anywhere in Grayling, you guys are under severe thunderstorm warning. Roscommon definitely in the center of that box, so you guys are in it too. I know Houghton Lake's down here. You guys are just off to the south of it. If it continues more of a southern extent, they might need to add more of Roscommon County to the warning. But right now, Prudenville or Houghton Lake, you guys are in the clear. I would not be boating on the lake right now, just in case, again, the thunder and lightning threat for tonight is definitely elevated, especially further away from the storms. Again, when you have those anvils shooting off to the southeast, 50 to 75 miles away from the storm, lightning can still occur and strike anywhere underneath that anvil. So I know we say if you hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck. So if you're hearing thunder, 30, 40 miles away from the storm, then you guys are definitely close enough to getting struck. So especially if you're on Houghton Lake right now, I would not be just for the threat of lightning alone. And then we'll have to watch the severe thunderstorm as it moves more to the southeast. Velocity signatures they're all right. I would say maybe probably 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in there. They're saying 60, but I would say it's probably a little lighter. I think the main threat here is going to be the hail. Looking at correlation coefficient, yeah, there's a couple spots there where it's picking up larger objects, for example. So yeah, new thunderstorm warning there. Very extreme southeastern Kalkaska, Crawford, and Roscommon counties. West Branch, Ogama County area. I know we have a couple viewers watching from there. Again, welcome in. This is heading your way in the next probably 45 minutes to an hour, maybe sooner. It looks like it's almost sooner. It could be in your county in a half hour at this point. Surprised the storm hasn't given a tornado warning. I'm not really surprised. Today conditions aren't favorable for tornadoes per se. Earlier there was definitely some indication that there could have. In fact, this latest scan is a little suspicious, but very weak, very broad right now. So I'm not terribly surprised. But it is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, so it should not be taken lightly for sure, for damaging winds and large hail alone. This little green triangle on here is just a place marker. Again, my radar product, Gibson Ridge, puts these down. They're computer generated. It depends on what they're seeing in the storm. The radar itself sees what's going on in the storm, and they're like, I believe hail's happening there. So boom, here's a triangle. That's basically what it does. It doesn't say it's actually falling there. It just thinks it's falling there. So fun fact. Detroit, you guys are good for a while. We will break in for Detroit if need be. Mount Pleasant, you guys, if this storm can turn more south, I would have to start turning a lot. Otherwise, you guys should be in the clear for tonight. There's going to be some rain. I know there's some of you guys at the Kane Brown concert tonight. I would expect some rain here soon. We're going to flip over to the Grand Rapids radar really quick, give you a rain update. It looks like it's falling apart, actually. If you're in Cadillac, the rain's starting to fall apart over you. Our updraft strength, which we will single box here. So this is our differential reflectivity radar. Anything you see here in blues, there's a lot of different radars, easy to get confused, but this is our differential reflectivity radar. Downdrafts versus updrafts, basically anything that's blues and greens, that's typically where the storms are raining itself out, essentially. And then if you zoom in on, over here in Ludington, you have the reds and whites. Those are strong updrafts occurring. Sorry, I had some messages. So we were going over the reason why this is falling apart is because downdrafts are very high right now, basically. So this rain is all falling apart in Osceola County, heading towards Clare. So you guys are going to be generally dry in Mount Pleasant. Again, not completely. I would expect you guys to still get a couple showers in. Maybe a legit shower if some of these storms over in Lake County can squeeze your way. Otherwise, enjoy the concert if you're going. How's Sunday looking? We will have an updated forecast probably tomorrow. I know there's a lot of you guys going to the Michigan race this weekend on Sunday at 2:30. That's going to be probably right when we'll probably be starting our live stream because there'll be stuff maybe starting to fire up in Southwest Michigan. Again, too far out to know. We'll know some better forecasts and model runs tonight because we have the NAM model run that's coming out tonight at about 9 o'clock something like that. And that should give us a good view of what reflectivity is looking like at least, and other ingredients for Sunday. Again, we're only using our long-term models right now because it's the only thing we got. So again, too far out to tell you when and where Sunday, but stay tuned to our page. Follow us on Facebook if you haven't, for sure, because we'll have posts coming out soon. I will take this moment to say, if you haven't subscribed, we do release our forecast to subscribers first, usually a couple hours. Sometimes maybe like an hour after we post to the subscribers is when everyone else gets to see it. Sometimes it could be multiple hours. So if you want first dibs on forecast on Facebook, feel free to subscribe. It's only like $5 a month, which if you equal it out, it's like 20 cents a day. So, it's like paying for 1 cup of coffee the entire month. So if you have that, do appreciate it. But yeah, just want to throw that out there if you feel like subscribing. A lot of lightning with a storm. Oh, yeah. Andrew, where are you at? I guess it really doesn't matter, but there's a lot of lightning with a storm tonight. Northeast corner of Branch County should worry about. Branch. No, you guys are good. That's down there on the border. You guys will be good for a while. I don't know if the storms are going to even hit you guys, but we will continue to watch them throughout the night. Again, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. One for Crawford, Roscommon up here in the Gaylord zone. We have one in Mason County. I'm turning off my ringer now because I keep getting Fox Sports notifications. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning over here in Sandusky, which actually it looks like it's starting to become even more surface based. I'm going to flip over to the Detroit radar really quick and see how it's looking rotation wise. Still the same, very weak. It just has that hook look to it. I'm going to look at the photographs for Detroit. See how much it's actually spinning here. Again, you guys can't see it. It's on my screen only. That's a funky looking photograph if I've ever seen it. So at the surface, again, why these storms are moving so slow at the surface is right now the photograph in Detroit is indicating that at the surface to the first kilometer, winds are moving to the east at 10 knots, which is 15 miles per hour. And then when you get up to the third kilometer in the atmosphere, it's moving almost to the due south at 20 knots. So there's a little bit of shear in the storm for sure. So definitely supportive of some supercells, especially when you have the 3 to 8 kilometers up the atmosphere. You have the wind shooting straight off. It really picks up after the 3rd kilometer. It goes basically each kilometer up, the wind increases by 10 knots. So 4th kilometer up, it's 30 knots. 5th, 40. 6th, 50. And then 7th and 8th, it's 60 knots. And I know up at 9 and 10, although it's not on my photograph, it's shooting off to the southeast at 70 to 80 knots, which is really, really fast. Manistee County, Ludington. Yeah, I was looking at that storm. We're on the Grand. Oh, we were on the Grand Rapids radar. We're not anymore. Let's go back to it. So thunderstorm warning continues for Roscommon. Same hazards. They trimmed Kalkaska County out of that warning box. I think it probably just updated on here. Yeah, it did. Oh, we're in the range folded issue here. That's a problem. You guys are getting hit. Probably some hail in there. I don't know, Andrew, if you're seeing hail, let me know. It looks like it's almost through Mason County at this point. So if you're in Oceana County, Hart, Walkerville, I believe, yeah, this is Silver Lake over there. If you know anyone in this area, tell them to watch out. I'm sure they're probably already seeing the scary clouds coming in. But in case they don't, you might want to let them know. We do not have an extension of this year thunderstorm warning yet out of Mason County. Perhaps we will soon. It's tough to tell. Before anyone comments on that purple ring. I guess I'll explain it. So on the radar on the right, I have explained it in the streams in the past. That purple ring is range folded on our velocity scan. And that's just bad radar data that we're getting. It sends out a return, and it's it's overlapping other data from further out in the atmosphere. And so what it does is it just puts a purple pixel there and says, yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that range. This usually happens like 75 to 100 knots out from, or knots, kilometers out from the radar. And that's what we're seeing. This is a common issue, along the edges of the county warning area. And in fact, this is starting to congeal into a kind of a line now on the lake, which is what I mentioned earlier in the stream when we first started. For those who have been watching since the beginning, I did mention that the models earlier had this line dissipating over land and forming more over the lake and just onshore of the lake. So if you live in Oceana, Newaygo, this is just for the west side of the state. I'll cover the other sides here in a second. Oceana, Newaygo, Muskegon, Ottawa, maybe Kent County. You guys are under the gun for the next hour or two if this line can stay severe. Anywhere basically off to the east of 131 for this line is good. So again, Mecosta, Isabella, Gratiot counties, Clinton counties, you guys are probably going to be good tonight in terms of severe weather. You guys could still get some rain. And then over here in Detroit, hopefully this answers some questions for you guys. There's a lot of viewers in from Detroit area, southeast Michigan, and the Thumb. So if you're in Huron County, the storm's already passed. A couple lingering showers behind it. If you live in Lapeer, southern Sanilac County, St. Clair, Macomb, maybe extreme northeastern Oakland County. I would say for this storm over here, you guys are under the gun for in the next hour or two. Otherwise, if you live probably west of 75, you guys are going to probably be good for the rest of the night in terms of severe weather, unless the storm can turn right and head more in a southern direction. But I don't see this storm staying together for too much longer. It's kind of the only storm that's left here in Roscommon County. Again, it's turning south. Like I said earlier, I was like, Burnville, Houghton Lake, you got to watch the southern turn, and it's almost outside of its warning box right now. So Houghton Lake, Prudenville, you guys should probably be off the lake, inside, watching the storm from a safe location. West Branch is coming for you guys down the road. You guys aren't in the warning box yet, but you will be maybe soon. Didn't have any hail, lots of rain and wind. That's good. About to miss Mount Pleasant, yes. For the heaviest of it, looks like it's going to miss Mount Pleasant, which is good. Michigan Adventures near Muskegon. I would say in the next half hour, you guys should be calling it a day. If you guys enjoyed your day there, I know Michigan Adventures closes at like 8 or something like that. So I would say take your last ride or two for the night and then be done. Although, again, these anvils are sticking out very far from the storms. So you could get struck, 50 miles away from the storms if you hear thunder, of course. So take that with precaution. Let's see. What else do we got? Comment-wise, my bad. Tuscola County, you guys are fine. Unless you're living in eastern Tuscola County, because you guys are still in that severe thunderstorm warning box. So east of Mayville right now, you guys are under the gun, especially. And I know we had a viewer in from northern Lapeer County, I believe, near North Branch, Brown City. You guys are definitely under the gun next. So take your precautions for that severe thunderstorm likely to be extended your way soon. Just has that hook look to it. It is not rotating tightly. So if anyone else has any questions, feel free to answer them. I know we got a small crowd in here tonight, which is fine. Again, marginal severe weather day today. Nothing too crazy. And like Sunday, you want to be tuning in then for sure. Camping in Harrison and Clare County, should we expect anything? In the next 10 to 20 minutes, I would say if this little band of rain can stay together in just south of Lake City, this will hit you guys. But the severe weather is staying just off to your north. Main hazards for you guys will probably be some lightning. So potentially just let it swing or let that line of storms pass you by, and then you guys should be good for some late night campfires and some s'mores and stuff like that. So enjoy your night here. You guys should be in the clear by 8 o'clock. Sunday looks pretty promising, yes, for severe weather. The fact that they issued a day 4 15% zone, they don't do that often. So they are very confident this far out that there will be some severe weather somewhere in the state on Sunday. Again, right now, the 15% zone encompasses mainly southwestern Michigan, but I'm sure that'll be expanded to the east. It looks like it's going to be, at this point, maybe a late afternoon to evening threat, but we will, again, continue to monitor if the models say otherwise. Anything in Macomb? Yeah, storm is sliding down your way. If it can stay together, it'll be in Macomb County and probably, again, it's moving 20 miles per hour. So hour and a half, if it can make it through Lapeer County again. But I remember the models had this storm potentially dying as it gets towards Port Huron, sorry. Yeah, Port Huron, my bad. Yeah, once it gets towards Port Huron, it looked like it was dying on the model runs. So Macomb County, there's about a 25% chance that you guys could be affected by some severe weather here. That's just a rough estimate. So the odds are in your favor that you won't get severe weather is basically what I'm saying. No problem, Emily. So there's no severe thunderstorm warnings now in the Grand Rapids area. We are going to flip back to the Grand Rapids radar really quick. Just a strong line of storms. Couple downbursts maybe here and there, especially right now. I'm looking at this little notch of wind here just south of Baldwin entering Owego County. A couple downbursts potentially in this line. So if you're in Manistee Forest right now, south of Baldwin, I'd be watching out for that. Some damaging winds. Sub-severe, but still heavy winds. Could blow your tent around if it's not secure. Or some outdoor lawn furniture for sure. Walkerville, you guys are under the gun here next in about 3 to 5 minutes. Hart, same thing. Shelby down the road, about 10 minutes. And Shelby will probably get hit the hardest because that is the widest swath of heavy rain to some small hail and potentially some gusty winds mixed in there as well. Again, that was our storm that was previously severe thunderstorm warned. There's a chance it could go warned again if the conditions are favorable for damaging winds and hail, which they currently are. Let me switch over to correlation coefficient. Yes. So again, this radar on the right is our correlation coefficient. Greens and blues mean larger objects, and we are seeing that for sure here. And Gibson Ridge radar believes that there's 1 inch falling at this 1 inch hail falling at this location just offshore of Pentwater. And so we will need to monitor that. Again, that is not official, but with the data that we're getting in from the radar that believes that there's 1 inch hail falling just offshore. How can you detect downbursts on velocity? Good question. Usually downburst on velocity, you are obviously looking for things that are similar to reds and greens being close together, but usually the greens and the reds are not side by side, but more forward and back. So if you have reds away from the radar on the back side of the storm and greens towards the radar on the front side of the storm, that's where you have your downburst. Now in this one, there's not really much of reds. It's just greens, which shows that there's definitely downdraft winds in there. Now, is it a downburst? Tough to tell, but that is just what is assumed that's happening at this location based on our little green dot there. There's a little bit of red, and it is side by side. But again, conditions here are not favorable for tornadoes. I'm going to look at the mesoanalysis, though, just in case, because I don't want to say something and then have something else different happening. Cheers. Actually, the environment is more favorable for water. It's mainly for water spouts. There's a good chunk of shear that is sitting offshore here of Pentwater. So these little notches are more susceptible to being quick spin ups more than anything. Potentially riding right down that Lake Michigan shoreline. Again, we're not expecting anything too crazy by any means, but we are just letting you know that the most favorable environment for anything to spin up right now is over the lake. So mostly everyone will be unaffected tonight. It's going to pass through Ortonville and north of Oakland County. Ow. I think you guys are going to be, yeah. So you guys are right on the border. So you guys are just to the east of I-75. I just said I-75. What? Yeah, east of I-75, you guys are more likely to get affected by a severe storm tonight, more than people to the west. It's more like to the east of this highway right here that runs from Pontiac to Lapeer, which is a Michigan highway. I'm going to find out which Michigan highway that is really quick. That's M24, I believe. Yeah, if you are to the east of M24 instead of I-75, so M24 to the east, you guys are likely to be affected by the storm as it moves to the south-southeast. If you live to the west of that, you're less likely, although non-zero. If you're to the west of I-75, that's probably a 0% chance that you'll get 100% chance you'll get no severe weather. I would say 0% if it is severe weather. It's kind of one of those glass half full, glass half empty sort of deals. Depends on which way you want to look at it. No problem, Nancy. Just keep your phones handy in case some warnings do go off. And I'm the only one in here tonight, so bear with me. Got a lot to cover. Just a little radar breakdown here. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect. One for Roscommon, one for Tuscola County, portions of Sanilac County. One in Tuscola and Sanilac counties are in effect until 7:15, so you got 10 minutes on that one. The one in Roscommon County is in effect until 7:15 as well, unless they cancel it sooner. But right now they have not. They still believe the threat is there for 60-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch hail or 1-inch hail. I know Grand Rapids is probably closely watching this line of cells over in Oceana County. Future track the storms to the north of Midland. I'll loop it here really quick. Actually, there's a little tiny shower popping up there in Coleman. Flip it over to our updraft radar. Yep, updrafts are strong there. Moving right down US 10, Coleman to Sanford to Midland. Good updraft going up there. But it is a light shower at best for now. Continue to monitor that. Otherwise, this stuff off to the north is, for the most part, dying. We'll switch over to our updraft radar again. We have one little cell hanging on here in Mottersville, heading into northern Clare County. And then we have the severe thunderstorm here, which is starting to lose its strength. And in fact, it lost its severe thunderstorm warning. So that storm is now weakening. This entire line, like we suspected was going to happen, is weakening here, just portions of Roscommon County. And that'll continue to be that way. The only strong stuff going on throughout the night, likely strong stuff that'll continue, is going to be over the thumb. Again, that's where our marginal risk is for today. And then perhaps an isolated warning over here in Oceana, Mesquite County as this line moves off to the south. Continue to monitor that. Wow, that's a very specific measurement. 0.38-inch hail in Wisconsin. No 1-inch hail for sure, but the fact that they measured that down to the hundredths is interesting. Dark here in Fairgrove and super still. Yeah, not a whole lot of wind at the surface tonight. But if these storms do get rooted at the surface, they can definitely produce some heavy winds. So the stillness could be an opposite of what's to come. Sturgis, Michigan needs rain. We will see if this line can make it that far south. That, again, for those who do not know where Sturgis is at, that is all the way down to the border here in Cass County. Sorry, not Cass County. Wow, St. Joseph County. Oh, I was thinking of Edwardsburg. Sorry, Chandler. I know you're probably watching. So we just have one severe thunderstorm warning right now. We'll flip back over that really quick just to see how the radar is looking. You got Christopher Tobias there underneath the storm. Probably getting some cool photos there. Same with Isaac Cross. Just looking at our spotter locations. It looks like our winds are going. Wow, that is an interesting polygon. They made it a pentagon. I don't think I've seen a pentagon severe thunderstorm warning box in a long time. But if you live inside this pentagon, you guys are still in a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. So they literally just trimmed the box for the last 8 minutes here, 7 minutes here for parts of Kingston and Snover, just to the north of Marlette. You guys are very close to that edge of that box. In cases like this, I would almost say it's close enough to say you are included in the box. But again, the storm is starting to lose its strength a little bit. So we just have one pentagonal severe thunderstorm warning right now. It's still a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 1.75 inch hail and 6 mile per hour winds. And that's it. We have this line over here in West Michigan stretching across Oceana to Mecosta counties. That's producing some heavy rain and lightning density. Storms in Ludington expected to hold together a weekend. Currently, the environment is favorable for continuous updraft growth, mainly along the immediate lakeshore, potentially offshore. So again, if you live in Oceana, Muskegon, Ottawa counties, you guys are most likely to get hit by anything strong to maybe severe in the next half hour to hour and a half. So south of Ludington, if you live in Manistee and Ludington, you guys are in the clear for tonight. Hart, this is bearing down on you right now. Welcome, Tanya. Thank you for joining the stream. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate that, of course. Gets the algorithm going. Glad to help out Maggie. Hopefully you guys are dealing with some storm anxiety tonight. Hopefully you can be here to calm you guys. Again, only one severe thunderstorm warning right now in the state to be worried about. And it looks like it's losing its strength again over in western Sanilac County, and eastern Tuscola, mainly southeastern. Lapeer County is not in the warning, just a heads up. Whole lot of just rain. So I think I got a little bit of daylight left. I think once this warning goes off, I think we're going to stop the stream for now, and then we'll chime back in if need be. But at this point, the severe weather is almost done for the night. Again, strong to severe, mainly strong storms still possible through sunset for portions of eastern Michigan. Again, and then west of 131 for sure. Other than that, everywhere else in the state, you guys are going to be pretty clear for the night. So our two zones that we're focusing on, again, with no severe storms up here in the Roscommon area anymore, our main two zones of focus for the rest of the night will be west of 131, south of US 10, and then I said M24 earlier, I believe, to the east of that. So if you live east of M24 over there, you guys are good. Or not good. You guys are still under the gun potentially for some strong storms. So confirmed damage in Sebawang. Looking at some of the damage reports. Not a whole lot, but definitely it was producing damage up here in very extreme western Huron County. Then it could still be strong enough to be producing damage down here. So they're letting the warning use up all of its time. Waiting to see if they extend the warning or not. Just looking for some stuff here. A little bit of a lowering being reported on this storm that was previously severe. Again, no longer severe over here in Santa Ana County. Skipping North Branch altogether. Yeah, I'm sorry. What can you say? I dissipated. Well, starting to anyways. It's close. I would still keep an eye on it for sure. And if you have any damaging wind reports, let us know. Send us a picture of them with location, and if you want us to share it with you, share it with the page. With credit to you, we do appreciate that. And of course, make sure to tag National Weather Services in the photos as well. So, let's see what else. Good morning. Where are you watching from? 7:15 at night. Print that out, please. Thank you very much. Everyone be safe up there. Fenton. Yes, that's over by Flint. Somewhere here. There it is. Fenton is southern Genesee County. So that's, we're going to center my radar here. So right here's Fenton, center of the radar. So right at the bottom of this little upside down Utah shaped county. These storms are mainly going to be off to the east of Fenton tonight. So there shouldn't be any worries in the Fenton or Flint area tonight. Chance to survive goes into southwest Michigan, Van Buren County. I give it a 50-50 shot. If it can get there by sundown, there definitely going to be some strong gusts with it. Definitely a good thunder and lightning show for sure. So a couple severe thunderstorm warnings over in Wisconsin right now, but with 0 issued in Michigan, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for now. If need be, we will cut back in later tonight. Otherwise, we will probably see you guys on Sunday for some severe weather coverage then. With that being said, I'm Joel Fritzma, and I will be signing off for now. I hope you guys have a good night, and stay safe, everybody.